Are you tired of the same old pro wrestling? Then check out the amazing action on Powerslam.tv, the biggest indie pro wrestling channel in the world. Get over 4,000 hours of the best pro wrestling events from over 110 of the biggest names in the industry from over 15 countries around the globe. Get your free trial today at Powerslam.tv.
I guess I'll host my show this week. Fuck. The fuck just vibrated? That's how I'm starting this show. What the fuck just vibrated? Goddamn trash can. What episode is this? This is episode 55?
54.
54.
Yeah, 54.
54. Episode 54 of The Blade Job. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to The Blade Job. Episode 54. I am JRT. I am under the weather. It's just who I am right now. I'm joined by... No high voltage. Scott, there's an empty chair over there. What the fuck?
It's a little sad. I'm going to put the glasses on the chair so that they're still... It's like he's here with us.
Yeah, now he's just going to sit on when he comes back.
I'll move him.
Yeah, whatever. And Joe Bjolensen or something.
I like that my last name changes every week now.
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't really.
It doesn't matter. You can follow us on Twitter at The Blade Job Show. You follow me, which is also the show Twitter at Blade Job JRT. Follow at Blade Job Yolen. I don't know. It doesn't matter. Follow Scott at Blade Job Perkins. I remember it. He doesn't. Don't forget to check out Facebook.com/TheBladeJob. The YouTube page where you can sub and like and happy shit like that. Spotify, iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, wherever you get your podcasts.
All of them.
You can find us. And don't forget to go over to Powerslam.tv. Use code BladeJob for a free 30 days of pro wrestling. They've got bar wrestling. They've got CCW. They got some of my Northeast favorites like XWA and Big Time Wrestling. If you're into like the super indies, you want to see Kevin Nash try to wrestle when he's 56, go for it. You know what? He's there sometimes.
He's their champion right now, right?
Oh, yeah, I think he is, actually. And you heard that promo before the show. Hint, hint, producers. That little promo that plays before the show. And check it out. It's good. I enjoy their product. God, this has been a weird week for wrestling. This has been a really weird week for wrestling because everybody hates each other right now.
Everybody.
So I was telling this story on Twitter. When I was a kid, back in my day, get off my lawn, but back in my day, you had to hide the fact that you were a pro wrestling fan because it wasn't accepted. Actually, funny enough, you had to hide the fact that you were a pro wrestling fan. You had to hide the fact that you liked video games, and you had to hide the fact that you liked comic books.
Yeah. All
three of those things are fucking huge right now, and everyone and their mother is into them. I had to explain... there's a person that I know, and I had to explain, and they argued with me about this, that Aquaman is not DC. It's Marvel. And I went, motherfucker, it's goddamn DC. No, it's in the same series as like Doctor Strange and Spider-Man. No, it's... I thought Spider-Man was DC. No, god damn it. This is an honest-to-God conversation I had. Anyways, back when I was young, you had to hide the fact that you like pro wrestling. Then a magical moment happened. The Attitude Era, the Monday Night Wars, the wrestling was at its peak. There was competition, there was wonderfulness, everything was good, and it was cool. You could tell, of course I like WWF, of course I like WCW, of course I like ECW. And then WWE bought everything. The Monday Night Wars ended, the Attitude Era ended, and Ruthless Aggression began, and you had to hide again. You couldn't like wrestling or you're a fucking nerd. We finally reached the point where pro wrestling is accepted again, and everybody hates each other because they like different things than you. And I'm not afraid to say it, this is some dictatorship bullshit. Like... you like something different than I do? Mr. Giolen.
Yeah.
Are you familiar with the Crusades?
The Crusades, like the Christian Crusades?
Yes.
Yes.
Like when a bunch of armies where the king was like, they believe in different gods, destroy them.
Yeah. Oh, you mean every war? But
Pretty
specifically
much.
that one.
Not every World War II wasn't about that. World War I wasn't about that.
It was about the Jews.
Yeah, but it wasn't about religion. It was about pure races.
I guess that's
That's
true.
different.
Yeah.
That's genocide,
Yeah.
not religious genocide.
Right. Alligators, crocodiles.
Alligator. Like I said, I'm a little under the weather today, so my mind's probably not as sharp. So I'm going to talk about things that are more serious, probably. Like Vietnam, we were mad. We're like, stop fucking being communists. But now, honest to God, you're like, oh, I love wrestling. You're like, oh, you love wrestling? I love wrestling. Who's your favorite wrestler? Oh, probably Seth Rollins. Oh, you watch WWE? That's not wrestling. I only watch New Japan, and I only watch it without the English commentary because that's the real way to watch it. Fuck you.
It's everything. But I never thought it was going to hit wrestling the way that it has, which I should have known better.
No,
Like-
it just it sucks because like I know a lot of really cool people that I've met on Twitter and on Facebook and at wrestling shows and all that who like genuinely just don't give a shit. You watch wrestling, it's cool. We have something to talk about.
Right.
You know, and I don't think people understand that you're like, oh, no, I only watch indie wrestling. I only watch Ring of Honor, Oh, well, you must like Seth Rollins then. No. Well, Seth Rollins is Tyler Black, and he was in Ring of Honor and on the indies. He wrestled guys like, CM Punk and Samoa Joe and, Bryan Danielson, like these guys.
And
What the fuck?
a lot of these people are jumping ship from WWE to something else because they are made fun of or because they want to be part of the exclusive club.
They want to be cool.
Yeah, exactly. But they don't do the research and look at anything backwards. So they're only watching, or if they're even really watching at all, they're only looking at what's going on now.
Do you know how excited I get when I'm watching an old like IWA show or like Ring of Honor show or something from like 2005, 2006, not old, but like, 10 years ago, 15 years ago.
Yeah.
And I'm like watching a match and I'm like, yeah, this is a great match. And all of a sudden fucking skinny ass Chris Hero comes out and I'm like, fuck yeah, Cassius Ohno. I love this guy.
Yeah.
The first Beyond show I went to was my first and, last time seeing Chris Hero wrestle. I hope to see Cassius Ohno in February when I go to NXT, but
I think I'm going to have to get tickets to that.
you might want to do that quick because even when I was getting them on day one, they were getting pretty
I
thin.
usually get them off StubHub like the same day.
Anyways. And I was like, yeah, man, I finally got to see Hero live because I'd seen him online. I'd seen him on DVDs, and I was always like a huge fan of his work. And then I get to see an unsanctioned match, between JT Dunn and Mikey Webb with Dave Cole as the referee. And I'm like, this is great. This is fantastic. Because this is my first Beyond show.
Yeah.
This is my first experience. And I'm like, yo, the show's over and there's another match? Like, this is amazing. This is a dark match.
Yeah.
Like a dark match at an indie show. That's crazy.
Yeah.
And at the end of the match, Chris Hero comes out to save JT Dunn because they were death by elbow at the time.
Yeah.
And it ends with Chris Hero pile driving Dave Cole through a chair after JT Dunn super kicks him. And I'm like, this is amazing. This is fantastic. Why would I not like that guy now that he's in WWE?
Right.
Just because he wrestles a slightly different style, just because he can't say fuck, just because, he's a little fatter. Like, no offense to Ohno. Hey, he's a huskier guy.
Yeah.
But it proves how good he is because you shouldn't be that big and be able to do what he does.
Right. And his style doesn't necessarily need him to look like the WWE cookie cutter.
But because he can still do. Like, honestly, if they didn't implement a quote-unquote weight limit into 205, I think he would shine in 205. Like, he has that same style that, because everyone's like, oh, the cruiserweight style. It's like, yeah, the cruiserweight style has been around forever. Do you know what the cruiserweights in WWE are doing that are making people go, wow, they're wrestling in indie style? That's all they're doing.
Yep.
I mean, yes, obviously, it is cruiserweight style. It is lucha libre. It's flippy shit.
Yep.
That's fine. But that's essentially the style that they're doing, is that indie style. It's fast-paced spots repeatedly. There's very little rest time during a 205 live match. It's just 205 now.
205 live.
Do they still call it live?
Yeah.
But it's not live.
It is. Well, they record it live. It's in front of a live audience.
Everything's recorded live.
It's in front of a live audience. I think that's how they get it.
Shit. You need to go watch George Carlin from like 1992, where he talks about everything is pre-recorded unless it's live. Like live, no.
I think that's how they get away with it. Because it's on after SmackDown Live.
Yeah, so it's 205 live for an hour, and then as soon as that hour's over and the people are leaving the arena, it's no longer live anymore. Because it's pre-recorded. It's 205 pre-recorded.
No. It airs on the network at the same time.
No, SmackDown's on Tuesdays. 205's on Wednesdays now. 205's after NXT.
Oh, that's right.
It's not live anymore.
I haven't watched it when it's actually on.
Yeah, it's not live anymore, which pisses me off. And also, stop calling it SmackDown Live. Just call it SmackDown.
Yep.
It's not Raw Live.
No.
Doesn't
Raw
make sense
is live.
Fuck.
Dude, did you see? Speaking of which, did you see how quickly they came out with the AEW as Jericho shirt?
Well, they probably had it printed fucking 2 weeks ago.
On Twitter, somebody made a graphic design of it, and the Pro Wrestling Tees guy was like, "I like this. I'm going to see if I can get it approved." And Jericho immediately quoted the tweet and was like, "Just start making them." I hope that guy got money for it.
Probably not.
No, probably not.
The fuck was I talking about? Oh yeah, people hate each other.
Yeah. Yep. I want to see wrestling get popular again to the point where like I can go into a Sears if they're still around and buy like a Wolfpack shirt. Yeah, I used to be able to do that.
Yeah, why Sears?
Because I remember it distinctively. They used to have like an NWO section.
Well, yeah, because wrestling was bigger. They had like one section of the store that had like WCW products and one section that had like WWF products. Yeah. They were near each other, but they were like separated enough. I'm sure it was probably because WWF and WCW were like, don't put our shit next to each other. Like, this is your planogram. You have to keep it here, there.
Yeah.
That's the retail in me talking.
I used to buy so many Wolfpack shirts. Like, every time one came out at Sears, I'd be like, I'm getting this one. I think I had like 8 or 9.
The Wolfpack, they were causing some mass destruction.
Dude, you don't turn your back on them.
They were the bad boys of wrestling. It was a good theme song. NWO in general all had pretty good.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. I'm having thoughts, but I'm not quite sure. Anyways, people don't seem to like each other right now, and it doesn't make sense. Like, I've had my disagreements, and I have had my arguments and my issues with it, with people within our corner of the internet wrestling community, because it's funny because we see this microcosm that is the wrestling internet, the IWC, and there's so many people, there's thousands of people in our little corner, and I know that that's like fucking 2% of the actual internet wrestling community, right? So there's bound to be arguments. There's bound to be. I mean, it sounds weird, but it's a family, because we can't be open about this necessarily with everyone we interact with on a daily basis. We have this little group of people, and I've had my differences. I've had my arguments. I'm blocked by plenty of people that really there's no reason for them to block me.
Yep.
We're
talking to you, Stone Cold.
No. Like,
I know who you're talking about.
You know exactly who the fuck I'm talking about. Mike does too. Yeah. Mike. There you go. There's your shout out, No Pants.
I'm also blocked to the same person. I don't know why.
Because you're part of the show.
Yeah.
It's irrelevant. And it's fine. I don't really care. It's immature, it's childish. I'm over it. I don't really care. But for the most part, there's a lot of good happening. There's a lot of positivity happening. unfortunately, it's like 25% positivity, 75% negativity.
Yeah.
And that is what, like, people that I have followed and that I have formed friendships with within this community, excuse me, are saying things where I'm going, holy shit, I didn't think you were that person. And that's unfortunate.
And it comes down to, like, even the way that people leave reviews on stuff. Like, you're only going to talk about something if you complain about it. And if these people, for the most part, but also if people are trying to get followers, if people are trying to create a conversation, they know that talking about something that drives them nuts is going to create more of a conversation than someone just going, yeah, I agree with that, and liking it, and not moving on to a bigger conversation.
But that's the thing is, you know, people, so you look at, like, the general, like, you know, product and services.
Yeah.
If, let's say you got your scale of 100%, people who are in the, you know, 100% is this product or this service is awesome.
Yeah.
0% being this product or service is terrible. The people within 60 to 0%, 0 to 60% are the people who are always going to leave a bad review.
Yeah.
But the 61 to 100%, you're not getting a positive review from all of them. You're only getting that glowing review from your 95 to 99 or 100% people, which is a very skewed way. And that's the, so I watched an episode of a television series last night that had a Reddit style society. It was a 100% pure democracy. Upvotes and downvotes. And that was their legal system. That was their everything. You know, that's how it is.
Yep.
And I started thinking about it. And I was like, this is actually the society that we live in now.
Yeah.
Because you live or die by social media at this point. You know, a wrestler or a promotion or a podcast or a personality, whatever it is, if you get enough people angry at you, you get mob mentality. People become angry at you just because other people are angry at you. And then it's over. I mean, how many wrestlers, like, I'm not saying Enzo is a good person. I don't know Eric Arndt. I don't know him. He could be a great dude to hang out with, for all I know. He could be like one of those people that's like, yo, I will always be there for you. I'll be your best friend because I care about you. He could be a great guy. I don't know what happened. I don't know everything. All I know is what has been reported. And what was reported is that the situation that caused him to be fired was false. And that he did not do these things that he said. Or if he did them, they were not done in a malicious way.
Yeah.
But the mob mentality, he's done.
Right.
He's done.
And it's, not to get in, it's not that it was false, it was that it was dropped. To get into specifics.
I don't know. I stopped paying attention about 10 minutes after it happened because...
I mean, chances are that means that it's false, but no one's ever going to know.
At the end of the day, you know, same thing with like with Cass. Like, allegedly there was an altercation backstage. Now, people obviously are always willing to take the high road, you know, of, well, I would never do something like that, you know, and it's like, well, bullshit, you know. The alleged story was that him and Carmella broke up. And that they got into an argument, and someone stepped in between them because he, like, grabbed her arm, like, you know, hey, you know,
right,
don't walk away. You know, there was not reports of him hitting her. There were not reports of him abusing her. It was a knee-jerk, like, don't walk away. You know, I'm trying to talk to you. And it's like, I challenge anyone who's ever been in a long-term relationship to say, my emotions never got the best of me.
Right.
Like... And obviously, I'm not, you know, promoting domestic violence or anything like that, but, like, everyone has had a situation where they said something they didn't mean, or they did something they didn't mean out of genuine emotion. Like, but the dude's career for the most part, is over because the high court of social media has deemed him unworthy of continuing.
And it's
and he got fat.
It's different than like Alberto Del Rio, who slapped a social media kid. Like
and was caught verbally and physically abusing Paige.
Exactly.
You know, there was cold, hard evidence
of
him being a piece of trash.
He was allowed to come back when he slapped the media intern after a while. That's not going to happen with Cass.
Well, yeah, and
also they kind of fueled the fire by even putting him on the same show with her because they had broken up before they both ended up on SmackDown.
Oh yeah, no,
so
absolutely.
Like I don't know why. Like, what point were you trying to prove by putting them on the same show?
Now that leads to a whole nother thing. So Del Rio was fired for putting his hands on a backstage person.
Yeah.
Now, there's really no way to know. Like, I'm not a person of ethnicity. I'm not a person of color. I'm not a woman. I am a straight white male.
Right.
Like, genetic jackpot in society. You know, it's just, it's fucked up and it's stupid and the patriarchy is bullshit. Fight the machine, etc.
You can go back to any point in time and you're fine.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Now, if I was a person of ethnicity and someone allegedly, because I don't know what really happened, said some racist shit to me, goddamn right I'd probably smack the fuck out of him.
Right.
Was that the right move? Should he have just gone to management and be like, yo, this asshole just called me a whatever.
Right.
And they would have been like, we're going to take care of it because that's a lawsuit and a half and WWE's not going to stand for it, especially some fucking intern or something. They're like, you're out, go.
Yeah.
Was it the right course of action? Probably not. Was it a moment of passion? Yeah, he was pissed. Is he known for that? Yes. And there's the difference, is he's known for these outbursts.
Yeah.
So if he's going to do it to this guy who says he hasn't, which it was pretty much confirmed, he did it to Paige.
Right.
Who is, fucking 90-pound fucking white girl against 260-pound fucking built like a truck fucking Mexican dude.
Exactly.
Exactly. More of an issue.
Yeah.
Like slapping an intern. I mean, who hasn't slapped an intern? Right? Am I right? Ladies and gentlemen, sound off in the comments below.
That's kind of, isn't that what they're for?
Interns?
To get your car clean, to get coffee, and to slap around,
where's my
right?
fucking coffee? I had to send a producer to get this. Producers make more money than you. God damn it. What the fuck was I talking about? Oh, yeah, people hate each other.
Yeah. Yep.
This, so you may have not noticed, but when Scott bailed, and then you were like, I'm having, there's an accident, car trouble, et cetera, I pretty much started planning to do the show by myself, so I've just had rants.
That's fine.
In back of my head. This was not the episode I was planning to give. I actually had a lot of stuff planned for today, and Scott fucked it up, to be fair. But
we still love you, Scott.
Whatever. It's not his fault, it's his wife's fault. She doesn't listen. She terrifies me, but she doesn't listen. I knew her when I was younger. I knew her before she knew Scott.
Oh, right. Yeah, I remember that story.
And then I didn't see her again until Scott's father's funeral. So, small world. Small world. So obviously with everyone hating each other, everyone hates each other because all elite wrestling exists now, kind of, sort of. Not really, but it does, but it doesn't.
It's starting to? It's blossoming.
So I said this to you before we went on the air, that everyone's like, holy shit, everyone freak out. They haven't done anything yet.
No, the expectations are so high.
They're the equivalent to, guys, I need you to donate to my GoFundMe page because I've got this really cool idea. I swear I'm going to do it. I swear. I need a bunch of money and I'll figure it out.
Yeah. Yep.
That's what's happening right now.
Yep.
We don't have any concrete anything. All we know is that the promotion exists. We know they've signed A, B, and C, and we know that they're backed by a fucking, rich kid of a billionaire father.
Yeah. Yep.
Who's probably a wrestling fan and was probably like, I want my own wrestling promotion.
One of the things that they said when they were talking about this during that the pep rally, for lack of a better term, whatever the hell that thing was.
Go, team, go.
Yeah. Was that the guy who's funding this snuck a TV into one of his tests in college so that he could watch wrestling? How the fuck do you sneak a TV into a classroom? Even if that's the most bullshit lie.
I'm pretty sure that this guy's like in his early to mid 20s.
Yeah.
So you got to think that he wasn't in school when we were in school, and now you can pretty much get little tiny TVs.
That's true. That's true.
I mean, look what we have. Like, everyone look at the thing I'm showing you. Do you see it? It's a cell phone.
Yeah,
it's not my dad.
That's true.
It's a cell phone.
But when they said that, I'm like, what did he bring? Like a little TV, like a black and white one? Did he like take one of the ones on the roller that is at the school?
Yeah.
Yeah. Just sitting in the back.
I mean, fuck, I watch wrestling at work all the time.
So do I.
No, but it's just like, so we have AEW, and I want AEW to succeed. So let's start with the elephant in the room. I have to, this is breaking news, by the way. This is breaking news. This is going to blow people's minds. They are not going to know what to do with themselves. Black is white, up is down, dogs and cats living together, mass hysteria. WWE isn't going anywhere. They're not going to shut down because fucking Cody Rhodes is starting a new promotion. Like, what?
That's one of the biggest issues with this is that they gave us enough information to get excited about it, but not any specific information.
Oh.
So it's just growing into expectations in everybody's minds into what they want it to be. And when it's not actually what they wanted it to be, they're going to be pissed off.
Hold on. I love how they had to clarify that equal pay didn't mean that a jobber woman is going to be making $1 million a year.
Yeah.
And people were like, what? It's like, you don't understand what the pay gap is in general. All Brandy said was, if you have a main event woman and a main event man, they're going to make the same money.
Right.
Now, like, what fucking Uncle Shithead Dave said, like, what was it, 6 months ago, a year ago, when he was like, Charlotte doesn't deserve to be paid as much as Cena.
Yeah.
Technically, correct. Because John Cena is not a main event star. John Cena has surpassed the main event.
Right.
He is the face of the
also
company.
In terms of longevity, he's been there longer.
Exactly. Yeah. Now, if Charlotte does the same thing, and she's there for, so how long has Cena been there? 16 years now? 17
like
years?
That. Was it 02?
Yeah, 2002. So 17 years that John Cena has been with that company. As soon as Charlotte reaches 17 years, and she's now a kind of a semi-part-timer, and she's getting ready to, hang up the boots, and she's doing movies and TV shows, but she's still an ambassador for the company. Absolutely, Charlotte should be making the same money as John Cena.
Yep.
But, and since Charlotte has been the main event of both women's divisions for like 2 years now,
right?
Charlotte should absolutely be making, let's say, Roman money. For sure.
Yes. And I think the issue with Charlotte is that she has been a heel for some aspects of her career. So, whereas Cena has not, so he was constantly making them money.
No, Cena was a heel for a long time.
A little, but like not...
And not to mention, he's kind of a heel in general because everyone just boos him for the hell of it.
I guess that's true.
Like, but Cena's got the kiddos.
Yeah.
He's got the kiddos behind him. And, like, the only... face in the female division, that sounded so weird, the women's division that could potentially be a John Cena style face where the kiddos love her is Bayley.
Yeah.
Because Bayley's a fucking teddy bear.
Yeah.
Like, I'm a 33-year-old man and I'm just like, I want to give her a hug. Like, she's adorable.
Yeah, the second that she gets more comfortable on the mic, she's going to be golden.
And that's the other thing, too, is no one, like, you can shit on Cena all day long, but as soon as that man has a microphone in his hand, he's on fire.
Yeah.
He just goes. Yep. Like, I'll admit it. I think Enzo was one of the best speakers they've had in years.
Oh, yeah.
And even he can't even touch Cena.
Dude, that guy was a catchphrase machine.
Oh, yeah. And that was him.
Yeah.
Like, they were like, you know your promos. You do your promos. We can't write that shit.
Right.
It's just like Heyman. Like, creative's going to hand Heyman... I've heard even stories of them handing Heyman a script and him being like, is this the general idea? And they'll be like, this is what we want you to say. And he'll be like, all right, I've got the general idea. And then throwing the script away. Like, fuck that. I don't need that. I'm Paul Heyman.
Right.
I've been making impassioned speeches since like 92.
And you can tell when it's someone going out and having a conversation and making it look like they're thinking about it off the top of their head, as opposed to like Bayley, who you can tell like she might. I think what helps Cena is that when Cena gets into a situation where he maybe isn't as good as the other person on the mic, he has no problem making fun of himself.
Yeah.
To make it like more of a humbling experience.
Well, it's just like fucking like Roman, where Roman, like whenever he like hit the line, he would do like the little like I said it like he was so proud of himself when he didn't fuck up a line.
Exactly.
Because Roman Reigns, he was born into this business. He's not an actor.
No. He
doesn't want to memorize scripts. You can tell when his promos are rolling off his tongue and when he's trying to remember a script. Because when they let him just do his thing,
right.
He's great on the mic.
Yep.
But you can tell when he's like, fuck, what did Vince want me to say?
Yeah. Which was Cesaro's problem. When they actually gave Cesaro promos.
Yeah, which is honestly, I mean, like, leaving the mic primarily in Sheamus's hands is smart for that team.
Yep.
Because Sheamus is really good at both.
Yep.
He can read the script. He can flow on his own. He's able to do both. Anyways, off topic, getting back, AEW, All Elite Wrestling. So they made some big announcements. Obviously, the biggest being Chris Jericho. Now, first and foremost, Jericho has already set the record straight, and people need to stop pretending like they're breaking news, because A, you're fucking not. You're just reading whatever fucking Daddy Seltzer Water said.
Yep. I like that nickname.
Daddy Seltzer Water? Or
yeah.
Seltzer anything?
Yeah.
Because he's bland and flavorless? Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm on fire! I might be a little feverish too, but it's fine.
It's working.
Jericho did not just show up in Jacksonville. Vince knew about this. Triple H knew about this. Jericho said it. He's like, they already knew what was happening. This wasn't like, I've heard, that obviously Vince isn't happy because he's losing one of his top draws for, let's say, at least 2 years.
Yep.
But that they didn't, like, even his All-In appearance and his New Japan stuff, they were 100% aware.
Yeah.
Because from everything I know is Triple H and Jericho are friends.
Right.
Like, they've worked together long enough, and they're, and Vince obviously never wants to burn the bridge of Chris Jericho because he is a Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
He will be in the WWE Hall of Fame. It's just the way it is. And he, it's good that Jericho believes in what AEW is doing.
Yeah.
And he's not going in there as the booker. He's not going in there as the owner. He's going in there as a wrestler who can bring legitimacy to the company.
Yep. He's going in as a WWE mole. That's going to be the storyline.
I hope so. Because, they never did that before. NWO. The Jericho World Order.
Yeah.
So, like, Chris Jericho is, like I said, he brings legitimacy to AEW. I don't care who you're a fan of and who you're not a fan of, but I'm going to say 5 names. Cody Rhodes, Matt Jackson, Nick Jackson, Adam Page, Chris Jericho. Which one of those is a legitimate legend?
Chris Jericho. He's the one that's going to get them those broadcasting contracts.
Exactly.
Yep.
Exactly.
Because no one has any interest in that before. But now you have literally, arguably, the greatest wrestler of the last 20 years.
One of the biggest moments in pro wrestling, I'd say history, was the countdown to the millennium.
Yeah.
I still remember watching that live, and it's playing the beginning of the theme song. You see the cityscape and the woman who's dancing and stuff like that, and you're like, okay, what is this countdown? What the fuck is going on? And then those letters just turn, and you see Jericho.
Yeah.
And the fucking place exploded.
Yeah.
Because
when they still had pyro.
And all those people who, were WWF only fans or whatever, that was what they were waiting for. Like, if there was one guy from WCW that they got,
Yep.
that's the one they wanted.
Yep.
Because he's Chris Jericho. I'm Chris Jericho. Like
the first ever undisputed champion.
He has transcended wrestling. The only thing that I wish Jericho got the chance to do, even if it was for one night, was TNA. Because it would actually solidify him as the most important professional wrestler of all time.
Yep.
ECW, WCW, WWF, New Japan, now AEW.
Yep.
You know, he's wrestled in Mexico. He's wrestled all over Canada. He's been everywhere. He's literally done everything. He's a fucking rock star.
Yeah.
Like,
he's written books. He's been in movies.
Chris Jericho has done everything. So what's the next step? Jump on board a fledgling promotion, and see what happens.
Yep.
It's just, anyways. So Jericho is going to bring so much to AEW, and you can bitch and whine and complain all you want. He brings way more than Cody and the Bucks ever could.
Yeah.
Period.
Yeah.
Because so Cody was born into the bit, literally born with a fucking belt around his waist.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he's the youngest son of one of the greatest of all time. It's
one of the most important people in wrestling.
Yeah, because, you know, especially then, because Dusty wasn't the Hulkamaniac. He wasn't the warrior. He wasn't, you know, the dead man. He wasn't the nature. He wasn't styling and profiling. He was a guy.
Yep.
He's a son of a plumber. You know, just a regular old guy. Like, and that was so different. That was so unique to just be like, I'm just a guy. I'm just fighting for the American dream. I want to be something for my family. Like, that was his whole character.
Yeah.
And like, it's funny because how many times he was divorced and stuff. He really is the American. He's everything about the average American man.
Yeah.
And that it was so important. And then like you've got so you know, Cody was born into this. Chris Jericho, he said, "No, I want to be a part of that."
Yeah.
You know, his dad was an NHL player. And he was like, "No, I don't want to do that," because that was his thing.
Yep.
His dad wanted him to be a hockey player because that's what he did. And Jericho went, "No, I want to be a rock star." And he was like, "I don't know about this." You know, he's like, "I'm gonna be a pro wrestler." And like I love the stories that Lance Storm was sharing on Twitter about, like, I remember Jericho pulling up to wrestling, you know, school in his fucking busted ass car.
Yeah.
And just how hard of a worker he is. He's good. He never has to wrestle again.
No.
He's fine.
No.
He doesn't need the money.
No, he can play the Palladium with Fozzy and be perfectly fine.
Hell, fuck, he could play Ralph's with Fozzy and still be fine. I mean, he is good to go.
Yeah. They'll put him back on the WWE intro and he'll be fine.
He's like, he just wants to wrestle. Like,
yeah.
You know, and AEW is going to give him probably that light schedule where he can still tour and he can still do.
Well, they said he can still do the cruise and he can still do New Japan.
That I think is worrisome to me. That is one thing that worries me, is that AEW seems to be giving their performers a lot of leeway, but I don't think it's going to be. I think it's going to be somewhere in between what TNA used to do, where it's like, you work for us, but also you can run the indies. We don't really give a shit.
Yeah.
And WWE is like, you work for us, and that's it, which is funny because WWE guys are working the indies again with Evolve, which I think is amazing. I think that's great. The fact that you get to see like old like feuds reignited because one person's still in the indies, the other person isn't.
Yeah.
Like, what do we have Evolve?
I get to see Adam Cole versus Walter.
Yeah. AR Fox and Johnny Gargano versus Austin Theory and someone else. And Austin Theory's been posting like pictures of Gargano at 21 and being like, that's him at 21. This is me at 21.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this is amazing.
Yeah.
Like, this is such a good feud going on. Yeah, and fucking Ono's coming back to it. Like, it's really great to see, but allowing Janela to do
his spring breaks.
His spring breaks, which that's weird to me because those are not shows that Janela puts on. Those are shows that are branded in partnership with him for GCW.
Well, now it's going to be able to be sponsored also by AEW. They're going to get publicity for it.
I see that doesn't fit well with me because GCW is kind of their own thing, and they're actually, from what I've seen, is GCW is not known for playing well with others as a promotion.
Right.
Like, they don't like GCW performers performing at CZW.
But I could also see them doing, okay, Janela Spring Break, we're going to have one of the AEW titles defended there. And just let GCW do their thing. Because they're going to make more money off the fact that that's going to happen, and GCW will make that money.
But does AEW want that to happen?
Well, AEW will get the exposure that's happening. So there are people
AEW doesn't need exposure.
I know.
That's the thing.
I'm trying to think of it from a marketing standpoint.
They're so exposed as it is, and that's the problem. Is they're exposed.
Yeah.
But like, so I'm gonna use something that bothers me, but it actually ties into to this and something that's happening this month. I'm going to compare AEW to gaming, like video games.
Okay.
So they say, hey, guys, Kingdom Hearts 3 is coming out. We're announcing it officially. And everyone goes, fucking finally, we've been waiting this forever. This is amazing.
Yep.
And the game doesn't come out for almost 10 years. Why announce it if you're not ready to release anything? Final Fantasy 15 had the same. Final Fantasy 15 was announced in 2006 and didn't release until 2016. Like, that's what AEW is. Hey, yeah, guys, we've got this great thing that we're doing. We're gonna do some crazy shit. Jericho's here. Check out Chris Jericho. That's pretty cool. And look at this. Yeah. Yeah, and everyone's like, wow, this looks awesome. So what's going on? Like, is there TV shows? Is there going to be, like monthly pay-per-views? Like, what are you doing? We can't talk about any of that right now. We don't know. So check back later.
Yeah. Yeah.
They actually announced a show with zero information other than the town it's in.
They announced a second show with no date.
Well, no, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
They announced Double or Nothing. They said it's happening May 29th or
25th.
something. 35th.
Memorial Day
35th?
weekend. Yeah.
May 35th.
Yeah.
In
At
Las
MGM
Vegas. And also we're doing another show in Jacksonville.
That'll be our second show.
Like, what the fuck? Why would you even talk about it if you have no concrete information?
I think it was based off the fact that the crowd was not reacting because the first thing they mentioned was the Chinese wrestlers, who no one knows over here, acting like it was the biggest thing in the world. They're not there, so we can't see these people. We just take your word that they're good. And then you do the Las Vegas, which you're in Jacksonville talking about how you're going to be in Vegas. I think the crowd didn't react well enough, and they were like, fuck, let's do another one.
The crowd didn't react to a lot of things, I think, because the crowd was expecting actual information.
Right.
And Hangman Page, no shit.
Yeah.
We already knew about this.
Yeah.
Britt Baker, we already knew about this.
Yep.
Like,
MJF and Pac both leaked before it.
I didn't see that. And regardless, the only, for talent-wise, Janela P. Ford, MJF, Neville, and Jericho. Like, those were, like, the quote-unquote surprises.
Yeah. But
obviously, I mean, they have to have some name-brand talent in there. I was expecting some quote-unquote indie darlings.
Yeah.
I was expecting that. Not your, and no offense to anyone, I say, not your Josh Briggs, not your Skylar,
right?
Who are, like, huge around here. I love them. Like, personally, two of my favorite wrestlers on the indies right now. But you go to someone in, like, California or something, they're probably like, who?
Right.
I don't know who that is.
Yeah. They're going to talk to you about Luchasaurus. They're going to talk to you about Brody King. Yeah.
So, like, obviously, Janela and MJF, they're both hot right now. They've got a lot of buzz behind them. You know, Janela's been in the business for a bit now. You know, he's not a fresh start.
He's been wrestling since what? He was 15?
Something like that.
Yeah.
But, you know, we won't go into it here, but we talked about it prior that Janela has his demons.
Yeah.
He's also being signed with his ex-girlfriend.
Yeah.
It sounds like a recipe for disaster to me, because I don't think Janela has ever worked for a promotion like this. This is not going to be at a bar where you can get drunk in the locker room and nobody gives a shit. This is going to be professional. This is going to be people in suits walking around. This is going to be $1 billion on the line where if you fuck up, this company could go under.
Yeah. And correct me if I'm wrong, MJF does not drink, right?
I do not know enough about MJF. I know MJF, as far as I know, is dating Alley Cat.
Yeah.
And that I miss her because I feel like I haven't seen her wrestle in forever.
I've never seen her wrestle.
She's so good. She's so entertaining. I don't know. She's a cat. She goes meow and stuff like it's awesome.
I don't know. In that whole environment, he's going to be around wrestlers that don't do any of that.
I'm nowhere near straight edge.
Yeah.
I don't drink. I know that especially when you're in a situation with a lot of people who are fitness focused, a lot of them don't drink either because beer is just carbs, and most of these guys haven't seen a carb since like 1996.
Yeah.
You know, like you're in a, if you're wrestling in a fucking VFW in front of 25 people, the promoter probably cares that you're drunk, but they also have a card to fill, and
if you're doing your job and no one knows, then
Now we're talking about insurance liability.
Yeah.
We can't let you in the ring. You're drunk. What if someone gets hurt? Especially now that Cody has said that we are going to cover injuries that happen within AEW.
Yeah.
Which is huge. And people like to pretend that it's like, oh, the injuries aren't covered by WWE. They have their own doctors.
Yeah.
Like, most of their shit is covered by them. You know, like, they actually have a whole medical team that works for them. And when someone gets injured, they don't have to call an ambulance to the arena. They send them to the trainer's room, and they go, well, we think you blew out your knee. We're going to send you for x-rays down in Alabama.
Yeah.
Blah, 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 blah. Like, it's not like WWE just says, oh, that sucks. Fuck you.
Yeah, it's not like that anymore. It hasn't been like that since WCW.
Yeah. And I see, and it's good. Especially because a lot of these guys probably are wrestling without health insurance because they can't fucking afford it. Because political. Anyways, I'm done.
Yep. Well, it's part of like with Bank of America. I use this as an example all the time. They might not be the first bank to come out with these things, but they're going to make you think they are the first bank to come out with these things. Mm-hmm. Cody didn't say that they're the first company to cover everything. He just said they're going to cover everything.
Yeah. Which is good.
Yeah. But it makes people believe that aren't educated that means other promotions are doing that.
You know, and people do like, you know, oh, well, you know, what kind of insurance does AEW have the insurance, or are they offering insurance plans to their performers?
Correct.
Because it's very different. If AEW has the insurance plan to cover anything that happens, that's just like
that means you're going to be in a bubble because they're going to want nothing to happen to you.
My work has an insurance plan if something happens to me at work.
Right.
But I also have an insurance plan if something happens to me outside of work.
Correct.
You know, so I don't know what it is. Are they offering both? Are they offering one, or are they offering the other? Like, I don't know what the situation is. You know, it is what it is. So on the subject of the crowd not reacting, there wasn't a lot to react to.
There also wasn't a big crowd.
No, and they shot it really well to make it look like there was a lot of people there. Yeah. But I would say 200, 300 people tops.
Yeah.
I mean, it was just like...
But you did it at 5 o'clock on a Tuesday. I think they knew that was going to happen.
Yeah.
In Jacksonville.
Like, you know, like obviously Cody got you know, a round of applause, and the Bucks got a round of applause.
Yeah.
And, you know, everyone was... But, like, even, like, when MJF came out there,
yeah.
Like, I feel like a lot of people didn't even know who... They were like,
yeah, and then he
who's
did
this
the
guy
same
in the
promo.
Burberry scarf?
He did the same promo that he does all the time.
Yeah.
Like,
I
that's
like
what
it.
I'm really afraid of, is that it's his hey yo, but it's way too long, you know? Like,
because I'm better than you, and you know it.
Yeah.
And it's like, I like MJF. I think he plays that character really well.
I just want to see him develop.
We've been seeing that character since forever, since pro wrestling has existed.
The fact that he doesn't have a T-shirt yet that says talent over tenure blows my mind. You have the one with the fake scarf on it, but you don't have, like, that's a shirt that's going to make you money.
Yeah. I hope that Cody and the Bucks have other plans in motion, especially when it comes to creative, because Cody's been in WWE. He knows how much goes into producing one of these shows.
Right.
He knows how many writers they have. He knows how many people are constantly spitballing ideas, trying to figure out what the next big thing for, not, because it's like, say you write a television show.
Yep.
You know, say I'm writing an episode of, Daredevil before it got canceled.
Yeah.
I'm writing Daredevil.
Yep.
Okay.
For the new app.
So I've got Daredevil, I've got Foggy, I've got, Karen Page, I've got,
Kingpin.
Yeah, Kingpin's chick, whatever her name was, I don't remember. Okay, so I've got...
That's going to bother me. What the hell was her name?
It doesn't matter. Let's say I've got these 5-6 main characters that I have to write.
Vanessa.
Yeah, 12 stories for. I've got 12 stories for these characters. Now, take that and multiply the characters by 10.
Yep.
And they each have to have their own individual stories with one another.
That follows an arc that goes week to week.
Because you have to think, it's like, okay, we're going to put Rollins and Ambrose against one another. So you have to plant the seed.
Yep.
Then you have to eventually, execute the feud. Then you have to cause the feud to be interesting enough leading into the culmination of the feud, either for a title or for a bragging right, whatever it may be.
Yep.
You need to lead to that. But you have to do it for, 40 people. Mm-hmm. So I'm hoping that they're looking...
in a 2-hour window.
Yeah. They're looking for an extremely robust creative team.
Yep.
WWE's biggest issues, I know that WWE hires a lot of television writers. AEW would be smart. Hire a bunch of pro wrestling writers. Hire some, washed up indie promoters.
Yeah.
It's not that their promotion was bad. It's just that they couldn't afford to keep running it.
Yeah.
Hire Drew Cadero. Piss people off, but God knows what to do. Hire Vince Russo. Hire someone who knows what the fuck they're doing.
Yeah.
Don't try to do it yourself, because I'm so afraid that Cody and the Bucks are like, we've got so many ideas, and then 3 weeks in they go, we're out of ideas.
Yeah.
Because I have a lot of good ideas. I went to film school. I like writing, and I've got a million great ideas, and I write them down. I'm like, this is awesome. Where does it go from here, though? I don't fucking know.
Right.
Or how do I get it from A to B? There's a lot that goes on in it.
And you need to make sure that it's a wide enough creative team where they're not playing favorites.
Yeah. You know who would not be a bad acquisition for AEW, as much as people might not agree with it? Eric Bischoff.
I would love it. I also love Bischoff. But
Bischoff's creativity was amazing. The issues with WCW were not Eric Bischoff. They were Hogan and Nash and Hall. Yeah. And Bischoff was too timid, maybe, to stand up to them.
Based on the way that I hear him talk about it, he tried to do everything himself until he couldn't, and then he put people in that position that he trusted. So he trusted those people, but he didn't actually think on whether or not it would be a good fit for them.
Sure. Okay. Eric Bischoff should go to AEW.
Yeah.
Even if it's not in a creative, maybe in a consulting role.
Yep.
Of, yo, Eric, we're thinking about doing this, and this. What do you think about
And
about
I could
that?
totally see him doing that. I mean, they're already doing StarCast and all that with Pritchard and him.
Yeah. Oh, and please, for the love of all that is holy, do not put Conrad on commentary.
No.
His voice makes me so mad.
No, he'll just talk about Meltzer the whole time.
I hate him. I can't listen to Pritchard's show. I love Bruce Pritchard. I think he is so entertaining because he's like Paul Heyman mixed with like Rush Limbaugh.
He's a little too condescending for me, but I get it.
I love it. It's so entertaining. I don't agree with him 90% of the time, but he's so entertaining. And then Conrad's in the corner like, well, Bruce,
Meltzer gave it a 3-star.
Let me tell you, like, I'm sorry, but we can all sit on our phones and just read off like things. And I'm sure Conrad's a great dude. Like, he seems like a nice guy. I'd love to probably hang out with him. I don't want to hear his fucking voice.
Yeah.
I also don't want Don Callis, and I don't want.
Can we get Tony Schiavone out of retirement?
Cyrus. He's not in retirement. He's MLW now.
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
He returned. He's finally doing pro wrestling again.
Because he was doing what, minor league baseball for a while or something.
Yeah,
like that?
he was doing the Atlanta Jerk Me Offs or something.
They had a 6-9 record this year, I heard.
That doesn't make sense because that's with your mouth, not with your hand. Ooh. So, I don't want anyone from Ring of Honor. I don't want anyone from New Japan. I don't want that to be your maybe one from either of those promotions, but not one from one from the other. Not like All In was.
Can we poach Colt? Can that be a thing?
Who?
Can we poach Colt from Ring of Honor? Can Cabana come over and do commentary?
Is he doing commentary for them now?
Yeah. Well, he does for the house shows. I don't know if he does on the regular shows.
I don't know what his relationship with these guys is. Obviously, he has a good relationship with PWTs because he pretty much made PWTs a thing.
I mean, he was a big part of the All In stuff.
Yeah, and then he got delegated to a battle royal.
Yeah, and then he also came out for the Bubba thing.
Yeah. But there's so much that we don't know. And there's so much that I want to know because at the end of the day, they're not getting a pass because it's Cody Rhodes and the Young Bucks.
Yeah.
They have to prove themselves. They have to give us a good product. They're not. I was a diehard WCW fan.
Me too.
And when they fucked up, I was the first person to go, this is garbage.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not and to me, WCW, even through the end, like, obviously, the end had less good than bad, but the good all the way through the end of WCW, to me, was still better than everything WWE was offering at the time.
WCW was the reason I fell in love with wrestling. It was also the reason that I took my first break from wrestling. Like, WWF played no part of that. It was just a show I casually watched. I was diehard passionate about WCW.
The final match in WCW was Sting versus Ric Flair. The final champion was Booker T, a guy who deserved it more than anything. Yep. And to make it even better, the fact that whole Bash at the Beach situation with Jarrett, and then they were like, we want the belt on Booker T, and Jarrett had to go through all this shit.
Yep.
And he pretty much was like, I'm done. But he stuck around, and he was champion going to the final Nitro, and then Booker T beat him.
Correct.
They finally got that match.
Yep.
That, because I know, I mean, they had that match at Bash, but it was so much shit surrounding it, and it's just like the final Nitro, even though so much of the spotlight is on the fact that Vince McMahon was on WCW, it was a good Nitro.
Yeah.
Because they went, what do we have to lose?
Right.
We're owned by these. What are they going to do? Fire us? They're probably going to fire us anyways. Let's just do whatever the fuck we want.
Right.
Let's put on a good show because Russo's gone.
Yeah.
We're pretty much on our own right now. Let's just do it.
Yep.
And it was so important. And I want AEW, so I've been open that All In was a good wrestling show. It was not great. It was not amazing.
It did what it was supposed to.
It didn't even do that for me personally. It was a $40 indie show. Like, that's the way I look at it. And it had technical problems, and which pissed me off because I'm looking at it, I'm like, you can practically see the Ring of Honor logo on everything.
But from a growth standpoint, for indie wrestling, it showed how popular it was.
But see, that to me, it wasn't it was so focused on. It almost reminded me of the old WWF pay-per-views, the in-your-house pay-per-views, where the pay-per-views were centered around the main event.
Yeah.
Rock bottom, DX and blah, 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 this, that, and the other thing. Like, the pay-per-view might as well have been called Cody and the Bucks Come to Town.
Yeah.
Cody and the Bucks and Friends Variety Hour. Like, it was a fine show. Honestly, had I not used an Honor Plus, Honor Club, whatever the fuck, and got it for 50%,
yeah,
I would have been really pissed off that I spent that much money on it. I would have not been happy with...
I drove there. I know what you mean.
And so now we have Double or Nothing.
Yeah.
And Ring of Honor's not involved in this.
No.
Because they can't be, because now they're the competition.
Yep.
And if Cody and the Bucks end up partnering with Ring of Honor, it's just stupid, because then we're just going to see the same shit.
And are there any indie guys now that are solely indie guys that you can see joining this company? Because all I'm thinking of is them poaching people from other companies when they're contracts.
TNA, Ring of Honor, New Japan.
It would not surprise me if you see Sami Zayn go to AEW.
Sami won't leave unless KO does.
Right. But I can see them leaving.
See, people keep saying that, like, KO's been underutilized. Motherfucker has had one of the best runs that company's ever seen.
No, and I completely agree with you, and I don't think he's being underutilized, but I think that based on the way he presents himself, I can see him being more wrestling focused, more like, I'm going to do what I want, and I'm going to do what I think is best for everything involved.
At the end of the day...
Although he does have kids, and they did move to Florida, so that might...
Well, where the fuck do you think AEW is going to be centered out of?
True. So I guess that really doesn't matter.
At the end of the day, AEW, for all of these guys, is a risk.
Yeah.
Because who knows how long it'll last? Who knows how long it is before the billionaire takes his money and goes home?
Yeah.
WWE
so you better make as much money as possible.
Is guaranteed. Yep. WWE isn't going anywhere, and KO's probably making close to, if not over, 7 figures at this point.
Yeah.
He's been there long enough,
especially in merchandise sales and all that. Yep. Maybe not consistently, but when he's on the program and he's selling.
I think his contract's probably $700,000-$800,000 a year.
Oh, definitely. It's probably higher than that, because I think Cesaro's is like 1.1 now.
So, like, and you're right. Kevin Owens has kids. Kevin Owens has a family.
Yep.
Like, you can't walk away from money to, unless he has been incredibly smart and he has savings and investments and everything to make sure his family never has to wish for anything. He needs to think about them first. I don't know about Zayn. I don't know what his personal life is like. Like AJ. AJ I can see leaving because he's got a wife. Yeah, he's got kids. A wife and kids he's been supporting off of TNA money for years. Yeah. And now
then New Japan.
Yeah, and I'm sure, and I know his contract was 7 figures yearly.
Yeah.
And I mean, I've seen, like, their house is nice, but it's not a mansion.
Yeah.
It's a good suburbia house.
Yeah.
And I'm sure he has a lot of money put aside, because it's not like he was a wrestler and then he got married and had kids. This is the chick he was with in high school.
And they live in the South, right?
I think they live in Georgia.
Yeah. So so the cost of living there is
in the toilet in a good way.
Yep.
But that's also he's always lived in the South. He knows nothing.
Right.
Nothing more than, like, cheap houses and being able to actually support yourself.
He didn't want none of anything else.
He didn't. AEW needs to. I want to see more of the whole Double or Nothing.
Yeah.
Probably will be good. Now, something that Double or Nothing is doing is they're running, or AEW's running Double or Nothing on a Saturday night.
Mm-hmm.
Is this going to be their regular pay-per-view schedule? Are their pay-per-views going to be on Saturdays as opposed to Sundays? I think that would be really, really smart.
Yeah.
Because
All In was, and this one's going to be.
Say your weekly show is on Tuesdays, which is now a wrestling-less day.
Yeah.
And your pay-per-views are on a Saturday, also a wrestling-less day.
Yeah.
I think that would be smart. Don't try to go head-to-head. you will fail.
Well, and so by doing this, if they do it on Saturdays, you have New Japan, which usually happens in our time, Friday morning, if they have a pay-per-view. You have Ring of Honor, who always does them on Fridays. Now you'll be on Saturdays. What, 4 times a year you have to compete with TakeOver? And then you have the...
And even then, you don't have to, because all you do is run your pay-per-views the week before or the week after.
Right.
You don't have to...
But if there is a time where they're running on the same week, they don't have to worry about it.
How many times did WCW and WWF pay-per-views go up against one another? Very rarely.
Yeah.
Mainly because they both use the same quote-unquote pay-per-view channel on, like, the cable providers. But... You know, they were WCW even when they were winning, WWF even when they were winning.
Yeah.
They were smart enough to be like, yeah, we're going to lose out on a lot of money because there's going to be a couple 100,000, if not million people who are going to get the other one.
Yep.
But if we run it the next Sunday, you know, because I'm sure it was, you know, like people like to think that these companies, like, were just like at odds, like fighting all the time. I'm sure that WWF is like, okay, Charter, where we want to run a pay-per-view on, you know, January 27th.
Right.
And Charter's like, okay, well, we've got a WCW pay-per-view that night as well. I'm like, oh, yeah? All right, well, let's run it the week before, you know, because, you know, this is all shit that's done a year in advance. This isn't like, you know, like what they're doing where they can do Fight or whatever their pay-per-view is going to stream on. You know, this is going to be something they have to, like, plan out.
Yep.
And, like, I mean, what's their pay-per-view? Now, are they still going to be on the Ring of Honor? Because I don't want that. I doubt it. I don't want anything to do with Ring of Honor most of the time. Not because they're bad. They're just,
I can see them getting their own app.
Yeah, but that's tough.
It also
WWE can offer a million hours of pro wrestling on
It also depends on what station they're on, I think.
That's true.
If that station has an app and that station has a, like, purchasing front to it, you could do it right there on that.
That's true, I guess. But, like, I don't know. I have so many questions, and people are just focusing on the information that they've given, and people aren't asking questions.
Right.
And they will be held accountable.
Yeah.
Because if Double or Nothing is a shit show, it's not going to leave me with expectations for what their weekly product might be. Right. It's going to make me go, yep, bunch of wrestlers think they can run a promotion. They failed.
Yep.
That's what it's going to be. You know, TNA, I thought their initial situation, I mean, obviously this is almost 20 years ago at this point. They were smart. They were like, look, we're not going for a TV deal. We're doing a pay-per-view deal.
Yep.
They're only $10. You know, it'll help us get a lot of capital. We've got Jeff Jarrett. We've got, you know, a lot of big names that'll bring people here to watch our product. And the initial 6 years of TNA, I think were brilliant. It was WCW all over again, and I loved it. You know, they bit off more they can chew. Not that they tried to compete, they just tried to expand too quickly.
Yeah.
And it didn't work out. And that's what worries me about what All Elite is doing.
I need to see more of this roster.
I need to see more of the roster. I want to know who your commentary team is going to be, who your creative team is going to be. I don't need to know names necessarily.
Yeah.
I just need to know that you have people who know what they're going to do. You don't need an on-screen authority, but Cody and the Bucks cannot be the backstage authority.
Yep.
You know, just because they're, you know, CEOs or CFOs or whatever the fuck they are, doesn't mean that they can wear every hat.
Can we talk about Cody saying that wins and losses are going to be more than they ever have before? What the fuck does that mean? How do you have a scripted show that you're going to count wins and losses and not have people get pissed off?
People seem to think, I think it's, once again, it's because they're pandering to the internet wrestling community. You know, oh my God, fucking, you know, they're burying insert wrestler A.
Yeah.
You know, because, you know, they just lose every fucking match. It's like, yo, these assholes are on TV every week wrestling the best pro wrestlers in the world. Like Almas. Everyone's like, oh, Almas has been underutilized. Motherfucker just wrestled Rey Mysterio on SmackDown.
They did a Canadian Destroyer on SmackDown for the first time in, like, what, 10 years?
No, Bliss was doing them for a while.
Was she really?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, but no, hold on. Yeah, no, Bliss is a terrible wrestler because she didn't wrestle in the
Indies.
And
she doesn't take a bump.
Yeah, she doesn't know how to wrestle. Fucking idiots. Wins and losses don't matter in the grand scheme of things because it's fiction. Look
at Velveteen Dream. Look at Dolph Ziggler. Two guys that lose all the time, but they have such a persona and a backing that it doesn't matter. There is some guys where it just doesn't matter. It's
a fictional show. Wins and losses doesn't matter. Wins and losses matter in the storyline.
Correct.
That's where they matter. Correct. Cody saying that was the one thing of the entire press conference when I went, you're fucking talking out of your ass.
Yeah.
You're just pandering to the crowd because you think that's what they want to hear.
What, are you going to have an actual top 10 ranking system? Like, is that what you're going to do?
No, WWE did that, and it was terrible. Remember when they did it on SmackDown last year?
Yeah.
And it was the fucking stupidest thing in the world?
Well, they ranked for each other, right? Isn't that what they did? But if you're going to have a wins and losses ranking system, what the hell is going to, like... I don't know.
They have a lot of work ahead of them, and not to mention... We're changing the world. We're doing something so different right now. You know, this isn't WWE. This is all elite wrestling. Look at all these selfies we took on our private jet.
Yeah.
Fuck you.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know.
Look at all these shirts we made with the Jacksonville Jaguars colors.
Yeah. I'm
the world wants those.
Apprehensive about this right now. Not because I want it to fail, just because, A, they haven't told us anything. B, if you want to be something new, give us something new.
Yeah. I want it. I'm probably overly excited for it, despite the fact that I've been complaining about it right now. But I'm complaining about it because I want it to succeed. Like, and I know you are too.
I want it.
Here are the holes that we're trying to fill.
I want there to be competition because if there's competition, WWE is going to get better too because they have to worry about it. Yep. New Japan, not competition. Because literally, they will never go head-to-head because if they were to go head-to-head, the Japanese would be running shows at like 2 a.m. and stuff like that. Their time.
Yep.
They're not going to do that.
No.
Ring of Honor is pretty... AEW pretty much just killed Ring of Honor. Ring of Honor's done.
Yep.
Because let's say they are going to partner, AEW partners with New Japan. What the fuck does Ring of Honor have anymore?
And if it does do well, if it does do well for a little bit, Impact is probably going to become the new Ring of Honor. Because you're going to see a lot of those guys that were at All In. You're going to see a lot of those guys that are friends, like Brian Cage, like Ethan Page, who are going to end up bouncing and going to the other promotion.
A lot of them have multi-year deals with TNA, though.
Right, so you just wait for those to end. So that would be a long-term form, but I can see Impact becoming the new Ring of Honor.
Ring of Honor goes away. Impact takes over. Ring of Honor just becomes the indie organization with a quote-unquote television deal just because their parent company has local fucking Pittsburgh TV.
Yeah, and we get them on Nesson on Sundays. Red Sox and Ring of Honor.
We get to see Malonis, though, which is cool. Sign Malonis. Cody, what are you doing? You need some...
Get him and Cam Zagami and just bring him over there.
Well, no, even Cam Zagami. He's just going to be one of another fucking group of 5'11", 198-pound wrestlers.
Yeah.
Like...
I love Cam. Cam, to me, is a better MJF, but that's my opinion.
Well, yeah, because Cam Zagami's actually, versatile.
Yeah. That moonsault, their double finisher that they have, him and Malonis, I love that. Where he does the body slam and then he does the moonsault off the turnbuckle. Yeah, I love it.
I know. I want AEW to be good. I need more. How far away is May? What the fuck month is it?
This is January, so May is the 5th month.
So it's 4 months. We got 4 months. You have to give us more information.
Yep.
Soon.
Does the TV start after that? Is it the first event and then the TV is on Tuesday?
Yeah, like
don't make me forget about it. Don't make it a pay-per-view every other time, like once every couple months, and then make me forget that it's even a thing. Or I don't care about these people anymore because you're not showing me these people.
If you're going to be charging me $40 every couple of months to watch your pay-per-view and not offering me anything else, I'm not interested.
Yep.
I have no interest.
Yep.
You're just an overblown indie federation.
Yep. This isn't boxing. It's not UFC.
This is pro wrestling. We need storylines. We need, if I want one-shot nonsense. That's what the indies are for. Because most of them have internal storylines for the people who go every time. But for the most part, you can go to any show and you get caught up within 5 minutes and you're good to go.
Yep.
Because you have no real connection to these people. But if I'm seeing these people on my TV, there needs to be something more. And I'm not going to give you $40 just to give me a fucking overblown indie show every 2 months or 3 months or whatever. It's just not going to happen. Give me more. Give me Shivani. Give me Bischoff. Show me that you understand that you can't do it by yourself.
Correct.
Because that's what's hurting WWE right now is Vince thinks he can do it by himself.
Yep.
And
they have no competition. So even if they fuck up, they don't give a shit.
It doesn't matter.
They're still going to make money. You still pay the $9.99 a month to watch them fuck up.
At the end of the day, I'm hoping that the stars align. AEW in 4 months, 5 months, 6 months, they have their TV deal, weekly television, monthly pay-per-views. WrestleMania comes around in April. Vince McMahon announces, you know what? I'm stepping down. Triple H is in charge.
Yep.
And then we see the actual renaissance of pro wrestling.
Yep.
You know, because WWE... It's fine. It really is. It's just like, it is what it is. Like, okay, let's not take it too seriously. At the end of the day, though...
I think SmackDown is solid. I think that Raw is a shadow of what it used to be.
And when Triple H... Because I think what's going to happen is Triple H is going to take main roster. HBK is going to take NXT.
I'm cool with that.
Then they're both... You know, NXT has not faltered yet. They've had bad matches. They've even had bad pay-per-views.
Yep.
But for the most part, they're always solid B or better.
They do a good job of not pushing the wrong people.
That's true.
With the exception of Lars Sullivan. But they pushed him and then got him out really quick, so I'm okay with that.
Yeah. Well, he had like an anxiety attack or something.
Yeah.
Who knows? That's it. I'm done.
This is like our longest
fuck
episode.
Me. No, God, no. Don't fuck me over, AEW. Do right by your fans. Do right by your wrestlers.
Yep.
Do right. You want to change the world? Then, you know, what's the word? You want to change the world, be the change that you want to see.
Yeah.
You know, don't
reinvent the wheel.
Don't fuck us over.
Yeah.
Period. So
stop making AEW merchandise. Can we slow down on that a little bit? We don't even have anything yet.
Yeah. Well,
I mean, I want that Raglan hoodie, but I'm not going to pay $50 for it. But also,
especially because of promotion that might not ever happen.
Yeah.
Right now, there's no.
It
promotion.
would be like me buying an XFL jersey. Yeah.
Yeah, XFL. Can't wait for the new season to start.
Yeah. With zero.
Fuck.
Yeah. Yep.
Fuck.